Alright everyone, so today we're just going to go over some tyres. So these are the ones that we were wearing in the Trailfinder 2. So they're the KRT and they're 1.9 inch by 96mm tall. Great for a scale up, but we did feel they were a little bit too small for the Trailfinder. So we acquired these over the weekend off a good friend, some of the Dixie Pack Mud Country tyres. These are 100mm, so they're only 4mm bigger than these, but they say they're a lot better for what we want for the Trailfinder. The other set that we have are these RC 4-wheel drive IROC Super Swampers. Now these are all 1.9 inch rims, and it's just purely tyre size. So we've got a 96mm, a 100mm, and then I think these are 115. These are way too big for the Trailfinder, as due to the width as well. You can see they're pretty wide. They just the corners here of the tread lock onto the leaf springs. These are absolutely perfect for what we need. So I'll give you comparison size. If I can just, there you go. So there. We just try and line these up as straight as possible. Somewhere there, you can see the size difference there, and also the width is slightly wider as well. We did use these at the weekend. These, to be fair, they were actually really good. So just an idea on price, these came as a set of 2, and they were, I think they were $12.99 for 2. These came for a set of 4, and they are $21.99. Those came from, I think it was Model Sport we got those from. Those I got off a friend called Keith. I'm not too sure where he got them from. I think they might have been eBay or Amazon, I can't really remember. But that's how they came, with the plastic beadlocks as well. These IROCs, I think, were about 30 quid a pair, and the beadlocks were about 55 quid for 4. And they're 4 aluminium beadlocks. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to leave these to one side. So we've got a pile of them there, and we're going to be swapping we're going to be putting the Dixie Pack tyres onto these aluminium beadlocks, just so we've got more down weight on the Trailfinder. And then my son's rig will be having these plastic beadlocks with the IROC tyres on, just purely because he doesn't need the big beadlocks. Plastic ones will do him fine. So yeah, let's crack on and split these open. Okay, so the Dixie Pack ones take a 3mm Allen key, and the IROCs take the 2mm Allen key. So we're just going to start to crack these open, get them apart. These are vented, so there's foams in there. I'll be getting rid of the foams. I don't really run foams if I can help it. So yeah, let's crack these open. These came apart fairly easy, and that's how they fit together. So that's the piece that goes inside the tyre. Then you got the front and the rear. So there's the little Allen bolts and the nuts. So we're just going to dry this out. That's one of the reasons why we've got a towel down, is because let's say they were run at the weekend, so they are a bit wet. So we're just going to dry these out before we fit them onto these wheels, and then we'll do the same with the other ones. So I'm hoping that these should be a nice simple fit and no trouble at all. Alright, so that's these ones apart, and there's these are completely different to the other ones. So these have like a front and an inner with a ring and then a back ring. So we compare the two. So we can go like this. That's kind of how they work. So you've got 2 front pieces, inner pieces, rear pieces. So you can see they are quite a lot different. Weight wise, these are not too heavy because they are aluminium, but they are easily maybe 4 or 5 times heavier than the plastic ones. So we're just trying the tyre off that we just removed, and we're just going to do them one by one, just so we don't end up with any complications, and then we have to revert everything. So we're just going to go grab that tyre and slap it onto this beadlock. So with beadlocks, it's pretty important to make sure that you do get a good tight seal. So first thing we're going to do is place the face in. Then we're just going to pop the middle in. Some people have different ways of doing this. I just kind of do it however they kind of just go together. So the front's in. I'm just making sure that the rim will sit in there nice. Let me just try again. Okay, so it does sit in there. You can see that's pretty good seal. So same again. So we've got the rear ring. I have just cleaned this up. Sorry, I have just cleaned this up just to make sure that we do get a good seal. So it's just a case of lining it up like so. Let me just grab one of the little Allen bolts. Now it's also important to make sure that you're not squeezing the tyre whilst you're refitting these, as obviously all you're doing is pushing air out of the tyre, and when you do that you'll find that all you're going to have is a flat spot in your tyre. If it's the wrong sort of compound rubber, it doesn't always roll the flat spot, it'll just stay where it is. Obviously with this time of year, with it being winter as well, the cooler your tyres get, the less dense the air becomes, so your tyre will naturally want to sort of shrink inwards and flatten anyway. So first thing I've done is I've just loosely placed the 3 Allens in just to hold it in place. That's just because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the old tighten opposites and just tighten them down slowly, because if you tighten one too fast, what you might find is that the bead starts to squeeze out, and then when that starts up you have to go around and do them all, put the bead back in, do it up. Some tyres are nice and easy. The eye rocks on these wheels weren't that easy to do. I did have issues where one piece that kept popping out on all of them. Okay, so those are just tightened down onto the actual rim, so that's literally just finger tight. So I'm just going around nipping them all up. Okay, so those aren't done up fully tight yet. We might not be able to see, but there is still a gap. So I'm just making sure that there's no bead popping out. So I'm just looking at the whole rim, and it does look okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to tighten them too tight. I'm just going to let half a turn on each one. Now this might seem very time consuming, but trust me, if you just take your time with it, it won't come around and bite you in the rear end when you rush it and end up with it popping out. Okay, so these, to be fair, are actually taking fairly easily. I've not had any issues with these at all, which is really good. Okay, so I'm not running any foams in these. The foam I have removed, it's there. It's just because this is a bit of an experiment. So I'm away in North Wales for a week during Christmas, so the rig will be coming with me. So look how nice and soft those are. So I'm doing a bit of an experiment really. I'll give you an idea. There you go. So this one has got the foam in. You can see I'm having to put a little bit of force on that to get it to squash. On that one, literally no effort at all. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment just to see how they run without them. Ideally what I could do with is maybe getting a little bit more air in those, but because like I said, obviously where I'm going in North Wales, it's pretty cold. There's still snow around, or there was, according to my mother. So let's just gonna go around these, just tighten all these up now. My Allen key isn't a very good Allen key either. I've put a set of really good fast tracks Allen keys on my Christmas wish list, so fingers crossed they'll be sat in North Wales waiting for me. Okay, now I think, yes, those are all really tight. Now I'm just giving it a good squeeze, so just to see if we can listen to any air coming out at all. Okay, no, that seems okay. Alright, so that's one of them done. You can see that's really, really, really soft. Like I said, I'm going to take the foams with me anyway, and if I do have any issues, it's not going to take long to do, because like I said, that was actually really simple to do. Let's say these eye rocks weren't easy to do at all. Let's say you just look at how much wider they are as well. And like I say, it's a really aggressive tread, nice soft compound though, absolutely fantastic. I might get some of those in 1.55s or 1.7s. When we get a 1.7, see if I can stretch them onto these. But yeah, so going back to these Dixie packs. So we used these on Saturday at Ogden Waters in Yorkshire. We met up with a few guys there. Got these, and like I say, to be fair, they performed really well. I was actually quite surprised. I had an issue with the front axle on the Trailfinder. A bearing started to collapse, so it lost drive on the front because it allowed the inner gear to move around a bit excessively. So the truck was only running rear wheel drive on the way to the spot where we were getting to, and in the snow and the ice, these actually performed really well since it was only running on rears. As soon as we got to the place where we were going, I sorted out the front axle, just took the diff cover off. Well, those of you who run Trailfinders, you'll know that on the Yota axles, you've got to take the prop shaft off, undo like 10 little Allen screws, and then take it all apart and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's sorted anyway. So that's one done. We'll cut scene here, and we'll reappear straight away with all four of them done on both sets. Alright, so we've got all four of them done. It was relatively painless. We did have one where just for some no reason wouldn't see. So those are all just naturally air filled now. They're all, I'd say, at the same pressure. Maybe that was a little bit lower. Okay, it is lower because it's not sealed properly. So I'm going to crack this one back open and just make sure it is done properly. So that's those four done. So we've got all the other bits here for the IROCs. So I'm just going to split this one back open and then start piecing the IROCs together. Okay, so we've got them both swapped over now. The nice soft Dixie pecs there. And the IROCs are now on these, which I've vented. I'm going to leave them that way anyway. So the IROCs are directional, as you can see there, the two opposing tread patterns. So the way the tread leans forward goes towards the front, so that would be the other side. So that would be like passenger side, that would be driver side, or depending on which country you come from, that would be driver side, and that would be passenger side. So we're going to go in there, grab the trucks, which are the IROCs go back on that, and the Dixie pecs go in back on that one. So we're just going to grab those and fit them back on. Alright, so we've got the, we're just going to fit a rear one first. Let's just pop that on there. Just grab the nylock. Let's just make sure we've got another front one, just this one. Just reposition the camera. Okay, let's spin it around. The rears on this side. think that they do look a bit wobbly, but that's the actual axle that's wobbling, not the actual wheel and tyre. So let's just do this front one now. Okay, so those are on there. I think they look pretty cool actually. So they did have those wheels on. To be fair, I actually think that looks pretty cool in the black. We do have the actual sensor caps for those, so I might put them on, but we'll see. So that's that one done. So we're just going to grab the trail finder and put the other ones on that one now. Okay, so an issue we've noticed now is when we put these on, and if they're on full lock, they are catching the leaf. Now looking at this, look how much of the stub axle is sticking out. And those hexes are, I think they're 5mm. Yep, they're 5mm. So I'm going to order some 8mm ones, which will take a couple of days to arrive. So they'll arrive, I should have arrived by the time this video goes live. I'll just tighten this one up for now. Okay, so it doesn't seem very... Okay, it is on. But yeah, it does. To be fair, these Yota axles are prone to having a lot of play in them anyway. I mean, if you could see that, if you could look down here, that's where the tip of my finger is, that steering on full lock. You know, look at how much play they have. So I'm going to order some 7mm hexes. That'll space them out nicely. I have had a look for some 8mm ones, but they don't look very good quality, so I'm not going to bother with them. So we're going to stick the rest of these wheels on anyway, and then have a look at how it looks with the body shell on. Okay, so we've got them on. Now we're just going to have a little bit of a test just to see what they squash like. Okay, so we do squash down quite a bit, which isn't too bad. See that tyre flex there. Okay, so that's not too bad. Sorry about that. As you can see there, there's a nice bit of tyre flex there, which is excellent, so providing super amounts of grip. Oh, excellent. Okay, so let's just move this back over here so you can see how it looks. So I don't think that actually looks too bad. They actually look quite neat. One thing I do like is they are literally, just check the front, just inside the arch. Now with the wider hexes, obviously they're going to be spaced out a bit, but hopefully they'll protrude out the arches just a little bit. So I'm really happy with the way that's looking. Like I say, I think they look really good without any folds, and they perform really well. So the next test, like I say, is going to be when we actually take it away with us over the Christmas period. So like I say, we'll be out in Snowdonia again. If there's anybody over that way or lives in that area around Christmas time, and you fancy meeting up somewhere to go do a bit of crawling, let's say I'd be happy with that. I lived over there for 7 years or so I'm really familiar with the area as well. So let's say there's always good places to go, and then like I say, I just might even take the dog with me this time. See if he likes a nice walk around somewhere. So yeah, so we're going to end the video here, guys, and I appreciate you tuning in. Like I say, it's not been a very fun video. Like I say, it's just a case of swapping some tyres and some beadlocks, but it's done. So those are on that one now. That looks pretty sweet. And I think the actual alloy colour on this is sort of tied in with the line and the bar across the top. So yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and The next video we will release will be some point over Christmas. I'm not expecting a lot of viewers on that one because obviously, you know, it's a lot of family time. Like I say, for those of you who do decide to tune in, I appreciate that in advance. So yeah, so we'll see you just after Christmas, I think it might be, or it could be just before, depending on how things fall down that end. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.